This is the Africa service of Vatican Radio.
Welcome to our half-hour daily program for Africa.
Stay tuned for our bulletin of church news, which will be followed by a panorama, and then our feature, Justice and Peace. We shall close with a sports roundup. I am Johnny Baptist Tumusime. The Holy See Press Office issued a statement on Tuesday saying the Democratic Republic of Sao Tome and Principe and the Holy See signed an agreement on Monday in the Vatican, which entered into force on the same day with the exchange of the instruments of ratification. The agreement establishes the recognition of the legal personality of the Catholic Church and the ecclesiastical institutions and defines the legal framework of relations between the Church and the state. It also consolidates the bonds of friendship and collaboration existing between the Holy See and the Democratic Republic of Sao Tome and Principe, while safeguarding the independence and the autonomy of each party. The two parties agreed to collaborate for the spiritual and the material well-being of the human person and for the promotion of the common good. The Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Democratic Republic of Sao Tome and Principe, Mr. Gareth Haddad do Espírito Santo Guadalupe, signed on behalf of his country, while Archbishop Paul Richard Gallagher, the Holy See Secretary for Relations with the States and international organizations, signed on behalf of the Holy See. The Dicastery for Institutes of Consecrated Life and for Societies of Apostolic Life issued a statement on Tuesday announcing a meeting of consecrated women and men from around the world that will take place here in the Vatican from 1st to 4th next month. The participants will be 300 in number from 60 countries. The meeting will be the first in a series of others that will follow in preparing consecrated men and women for the Holy Jubilee year of 2025. During the Holy Year, consecrated men and women will celebrate their Jubilee from October 8th to October 9th, guided by the theme, Pilgrims of Hope on the Way of Peace. According to the statement, the participants at next month's meeting will reflect on the great need for peace in our time in accordance with the invitation of Pope Francis. Some of the Holy See's dicasteries will also send participants to the meeting. The Jubilee, according to the statement, is an event of great spiritual, social, and ecclesial significance, and an important time when God's people ask to experience God's forgiveness and mercy. The Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Ebibein in Equatorial Guinea, the Right Reverend Miguel Angel Nguemabe, has told reporters that he intends to open the beatification cause for José Simi Esono, a Catholic who was killed in the 1970s for teaching the Catholic faith. Equatorial Guinea was under communist rule between 1968 and 1979, and during that time public worship was forbidden and churches were converted into coke-wind coffee warehouses. Esono and other catechists played a key role in carrying on the work of evangelization by secretly visiting homes to teach catechism and to pray with the faith. He, however, fell out with the leaders of the African traditional religion who were allies of the communist government when he asked them to stop praying to their amulets and to commit their lives to Jesus Christ. The traditional leaders began to view him as a threat to traditional religion and accused him of witchcraft. He was arrested and burnt alive. The Association of Episcopal Conferences of Central Africa, which brings together Catholic bishops in Burundi, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Rwanda, has called upon the people of God to promote peace in their respective countries. According to a statement released on Sunday, the bishops say they held a meeting in Kinshasa and reflected on the security situation in the region. They noted that the current crisis, which include fighting and tensions between countries, are weakening the social fabric and threatening ecclesial and social cohesion and interstate relations. They condemned the tensions and invited those who are responsible for them to work for peace. They called upon the faithful to pray for peace and to promote peace beginning from their home areas. The Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Mindelo in Cape Verde, the Right Reverend Augusto Lopez Flores, has expressed concern about the persecution and killing of Christians around the world, especially in Africa. Speaking from Mindelo a few days ago, Bishop Flores criticized the mainstream media for being silent about the killings. You are tuned to the English Africa service of Vatican Radio.
African News Panorama.
Close to 400 people have died in Ethiopia's Tigray and Amhara regions due to drought-induced starvation. The country's state-appointed Federal Watchdog Institute made these remarks on Tuesday, contradicting earlier statements from federal authorities that there had not been confirmation that anyone has died of starvation in any region in the country. Dates had previously been reported at local district levels, but there had not been comprehensive data. The institute said an assessment by its team of experts revealed that millions were impacted in the two regions and tens of thousands had already been displaced. Thousands of children in the affected areas were not attending school, the institute added. In December, officials in the war-scarred Tigray region warned that a famine crisis rivaling the one Ethiopia endured in the mid-1980s could be looming unless prompt measures were taken. The African Union has said that it deeply regrets the decision this weekend by military regimes in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger to pull out of the West African regional bloc, ECOWAS. Those three nations accused ECOWAS of posing a threat to their sovereignty. They had all been founding members when ECOWAS was set up almost 50 years ago. In a statement on Tuesday from the African Union's Commission Chairperson Moussa Faki Mahamat, the African Union is calling on regional leaders to intensify the dialogue between the ECOWAS leadership and the three countries. Nigeria had also rebuked Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger for leaving ECOWAS, saying they were letting their people down by quitting the group. In Niger, meantime, the military junta has expelled 15 members of the European Union's capacity building mission, UCAP. The staffers are accused of having returned to Niamey on various flights on 24th January without informing the government. The military junta confirmed they were ejected from Niger days later on 26th January. Niger has been ruled by a junta since July, when officers seized power from democratically elected President Mohamed Bazoum soon after the European Union announced measures to impose sanctions on the junta leaders. 6 students, 3 teachers, and a bus driver have been kidnapped by unknown gunmen in southwestern Nigeria. In a statement posted online, the Ekiti state government said that the victims were attacked in the town of Emure while returning from a road trip on Monday night. It is not yet clear who is responsible or whether they have demanded a ransom. Kidnapping for ransom has worsened in Nigeria in recent years, with armed gangs targeting road travelers, students, as well as residents in rural and urban areas across the country. The bodies of 2 United Nations peacekeepers killed in the disputed regions of Abyei along South Sudan's border with Sudan were flown back home on Wednesday. The Ghanaian and Pakistani peacekeepers from the United Nations Interim Security Force for Abyei were killed in separate incidents following recent intercommunal clashes, according to the United Nations. You are tuned to the Daily Africa service of Vatican Radio.